I've got a whole pile of servo blades and switches that I need to scrap and then see what I get. There's just a huge stack of it, so it's going to take me a while. If you want to see what's involved and what I can get from all these, stick around, we'll find out. G'day viewers, welcome back to another video. As you'd know, I've been doing some toll refining for a friend. So far all I've been messing around with is some buckets of things that came to me, like CPUs and things that didn't really contain a whole lot. Did the heat sinks with the gold on them. I did the pin CPUs. But now the main thing I've got, and it's the last of what I've got, is a whole pile of switches and servo blades. There's a box there, I don't know what's in that yet. And then there's a whole stack of them over here, which goes right down under there. So it's going to be a scrapping marathon. I don't know how long the video will go for, but I hope you guys like it. I haven't done a good scrapping video in a while. So I need to make room in my, this is my scrapping room, and this is where I keep all my scrap metal. So there's a tub for each thing. I've got bags full, tubs full, bags full down here, boxes full, and I just need to make room, so I have to get rid of all this servo blades and switches. So that's what we're going to do today, is scrap this all down. And hopefully we'll get some decent amount of gold for my friend, because she's hanging in there for it. She's been nice and patient, which is really good, and I'd like to deliver for her. So hopefully from all this we'll get some good amounts of BGAs and ICs and so on, and see what we can do for her. Alright, so we get started on this board first, and I've got a bit of a cough, so I hope it doesn't bother you guys. There's going to be some things on here that I've not even seen before. I don't really usually have a lot to do with servo blades and switches. For example, these chips here, they're BGA, and I've never seen them before. See if I can show you close up of what they are. Some of you may have heard of these, especially if you watch EWASTE, because he does a lot of these. Cisco systems. They've got a bit of a sticker there. I'm trying to get out the way for you. There you go. So it's a Broadcom, whatever that means. Can't say I've ever done a Broadcom before. So these are new to me. I've got no idea how much gold is in these, but being a BGA, I'm guessing there's a fair bit. There's some good things on there, like the gold border oscillators. I quite like those, and I can see some good size MLCCs, nice chunky ones. These little fuses, I keep those. One day I'll do a video on those. I've got some that are silver and some that are gold. A lot of these things, like these aluminium capacitors, they've got to be taken off, because when I depopulate the board, I do it with a heat gun. And trust me, if you leave these on and they explode, I guarantee a little bit of wee will come out. You'll know what that is. So we've got heat sinks here, not sure what's under those yet. Got a lot of screws to undo. Got a lot of pins in here, all the way along. Quite a few of those. So there's a lot of boards that have got these, so there's definitely going to be a pin video. Some nice pins on there. Not the best I've ever seen, but they're not bad. So one thing I want to show you guys is the gold flashing along the edge of the board. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking, oh, look at all that gold. going to make so much money with all this gold. The general rule, and I'm sure people will correct me if I'm wrong, but I know I'm not, because it's my experience anyway. If you can see the gold, then it's not very good. If you can't see the gold, like what's in here, then it's better, and sometimes very good. This gold here is such a light flashing, it's so light, micron thin. It may look impressive, but I can assure you it's not. Same with pins. You know, someone sees all these pin sockets and they say, wow, look at all that gold. But it's, again, a very thin coating. When you look at the gold that's in chips, 9 times out of 10, it's a solid gold bond wire, like lots of wires. But they're solid gold, even though they're minute, they're solid gold. So that's my experience, is if you can't see the gold, there's a lot or a decent amount. If you can see the gold, it's not very good. But if you've got enough of it, I guess, yeah, you'll get something out of it. Like I have a container full of the stuff, and I'm going to do about 20 litres of AP. A big container full, because that's the only way it's going to make any money. And if you try and get the gold just off this board alone, I don't think it'll even register. But the most common mistake new people make is they look at all the gold and they say, wow, look at all that gold, gonna make so much money. Yeah, nah. So let's carry on. Set this tripod back up again, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Alrighty then. Get my drill and start undoing some of these screws. I like to scrap things that I haven't done before, or things that I haven't done much of. It's very rarely I get to do this sort of stuff. Hate it when the screwdriver is just that fraction too big. I think this scrapping room is a much better idea than before when I used to scrap in the lounge room. It's much more comfortable, that's for sure, having a nice desk to work at. Unfortunately, it's a small room, so it's pretty cluttered, but it's definitely much more comfortable sitting at a nice desk. And then I've got all these tubs that I can put things in, and they're right in front of me. Because before, I'd lean over to the coffee table and try and grab things. Here, it's all at my reach. My girlfriend bought me a nice tray system, and I got some bigger tubs if I need it. So, yeah, it's a much better idea so far. Big sturdy desk to work at. These gold border oscillators, they generally yield quite nicely. Problem is, they're small. The ones I get are anyway. And I got this film canister, excuse me, just over half full. It's taking me quite a while to get some. It's about a year's worth in here. But I liken them to purple ceramic CPUs, because if you look at the back of them, not always, but most of the time, they're a purple ceramic. And when you break them open, most of the time, not always, there's nice gold bond wires inside them. And for such a little packet, it packs a punch. So, yeah, I hope to see quite a lot of those. That'll be really nice, because I'm itching to do the video, but I just don't have enough yet. when I started gold waste, EWASTE, it was suggested to me that I work in small amounts only. I only work with tiny amounts, because if you make a mistake, you only mess up a small batch. However, I disagree with that, because, and I know there's a few people that are having that problem, and I know I had it when I was starting. If you're doing a really tiny batch and you've got an ultra small amount of gold, it can be, if you've got a small enough amount, hard to find out on a status test how much is in there. Like, I've had such a small amount of gold in the past that it barely registered on a status test. But if you put SMB or something in there over 2 or 3 days, a light dusting drops out. So when you're learning and you do a status test and it says there's no gold, then you wonder why, and you wonder, are you doing something wrong? Are you making mistakes? Well, that was what I had anyway. I had the issue of thinking I've done something wrong. You know, where did I mess up? And most of you would know, some probably don't. When I started 15 years ago, there was no videos on YouTube like there is today. The ones that were on YouTube were the ones, the foreigners who can't speak English, and they left out a lot of steps. Yeah, that they would show one thing and then cut to something different, and obviously without being able to explain what they've done, you wonder how they got to that point. And it was just really, really hard. So even going to the gold refining forum for help was no good, because a lot of the guys in there were quite grumpy, and rightfully so. I found out afterwards, when I became more experienced, and I see other people going in there asking the same question. It's the same question people in there hear time and time again. Why can't I get my gold? Why can't I get my gold? And the number one reason why is because there's too much nitrate. So a lot of the people that are in there with the intentions to help end up being not very helpful, because they're sick of answering the same question. Or another thing that didn't help, for me at least, was people saying, read Hope's book. Now, yeah, Hope's book is pretty good, but that's good if you're a reader. I'm not a reader. I can't stand reading. And even if I did, like, I read the book about 10,000 times, and I can only understand some of it. I'm a visual learner. There's visual learners, and there's what's the other one? I can't think what it's called now. So people who can read to learn, or people who are shown to learn. I learn better from watching videos. Some people learn better from reading. And I just found the book was useless to me. I still refer to it from time to time in case, but for the most part, I like watching videos, and that's why I built this channel, and that's why I try to be as informative as possible, and I try wherever possible to show full-length step-by-step videos, because it's what I needed and I didn't have it. So I know that it was bound to be helping some other people. Now, with these little gold border oscillators and things like this fuse and MLCCs, the big chunky ones, I don't like to wait until I'm depopulating into a tub and then having a whole pile of crumbs and then trying to find these amongst the crumbs. So I've got this little torch here, and I'll just give it a little bit of a heat. Doesn't take very long, and then I can move it. And I've got hands of asbestos, so I can pick things up. And if you see the back of that, I'll show you in a minute. I can't hold it for long, but I can pick it up quickly. You'll see that it's purple ceramic, so I like to heat these things up. Take them off now so that I don't lose it later in a box full of crumbs. If you've ever depopulated with a heat gun, you'd know what I mean. I don't do it to all the MLCCs, just the nice chunky ones. I don't even really keep many MLCCs. There's a couple of smaller ones there, I'll get those, but the real tiny ones I never usually worry about. And I know that you can break these off with a chisel or a screwdriver. I know there's 1,000 ways to do this type of thing, but I've got all the time in the world. I'm not in any hurry. Time saving is not really a necessity for me. I like to just pot around and do my thing. Some people may be able to relate to this. I went through some pretty bad times with depression, and I found scrapping to be so therapeutic, unbelievably therapeutic, because while you're sitting here thinking about what do I have to take off the board, what's the best way to take it off, do I have a tub to put it in, how many of these do I have, or I can't wait to do these, all that kind of thing. You're not thinking of stupid stuff. I don't want to say what I was talking about because I might get a strike, but let's just say I was thinking some pretty bad stuff. So I'd much rather be scrapping, taking my time, enjoying it, and thinking about this than to have a really negative mindset and just do something that at least my family might wish I didn't do, if you follow my drift. So yeah, taking my time with this it's fun for me. I don't really try and save time. Some people say for the time and effort that went involved in this scrapping thing, is it really worth it? Well, yeah, it is, because A, it's kept me alive, and B, it keeps me sane, and C, it makes me a little bit of money along the way, you know. And there's some other MLCCs in here, but there's smaller ones, and I'll get them later if I see them floating around. There's I can't think what this is called now. Someone will be able to inform me. What's the yellow packages that contain silver? You get them in yellow and you get them in black. Well, this is a black one. It's got the writing on the top of it. I can't think, I've got a mind blank. So anyway, I take those off. I keep the fuse, I've got a box of those. Now, I don't know how well this is going to show up, especially in this room, the lighting is not special. But that's a purple ceramic back. The dots there are the solder where it was soldered on. And you got your metal top with your gold border. And if you crack that open inside, you'll find most times some nice gold bond wires. So I'll put all the good things over here. I've got a container, and any of the good things that I've saved, I'll put in the container. And on a trolley that's out in the lounge room is some storage containers where I keep all my individual things, so there'll be a little compartment for one thing and another little compartment for another, and so on. And sometimes if I've got company over, we'll sit out in the lounge room, I'll wheel the trolley out with my tools on it, and I'll sit out there and scrap. Otherwise, when it's just me, I come in the room here. The containers the storage containers are on the trolley, so that's why they're not in here with me. And so I'll put those things in the trolley when I go back out there. So that's that for now. What's on the back here? Yeah, some nice MLCCs. They're not really one of my favourite things to scrap. I do store them, but yeah, I will one day. I've got to. The problem is you really got to keep the non-magnetic ones. There may be some silver in the magnetic ones, but from all the videos I've ever seen, you're better off just keeping the non-magnetic. Now, along this board here is a whole pile of LEDs, and they're not your normal round LED bulb. These are little flat ones. I'm curious to see if there's gold in these like there is with the round ones. So I'm keeping these, and when I get enough of these, I'll do a video on these as well. I'm not going to waste my gas on these MLCCs. I'll get them probably with the heat gun, and same with all these chips. There's the BGAs, I'll get those with the heat gun. But what I do, I've been starting to do for a while now with IC chips. Instead of taking them off the board with the heat gun and leaving the legs on, and then I have to trim them afterwards, which takes a long time, I now prefer to just chop the legs on the board, and then the chip comes off with the legs stuck to the board still, and nice and clean. Job's done once. Otherwise you have to multi-handle things, you know. This way you cut the legs off, the chip falls away, problem solved. So anyway, this one's finished. This goes aside now to be depopulated with the heat gun. So I've got a tub over here that I'll put this in. And the next thing that's available looks like another one the same. It's got more on it. One difference I see straight up is that the flashing on the side of the board is not gold on this one. It appears to be silver. I won't know until I test it, but there's a good chance it's silver. Now, I have not seen any of these before as well, so I'll show you what they look like. I don't know if that's blurry or not. I don't know if you can see them clearly. I'm guessing probably about there is good. And I'll be testing those for gold. I don't know if they have any gold inside them or not. I can't even read them, the writing's that small. Even with my glasses on, I can't read it. No, I can't even try, it's just too hard. So I can see some good size MLCCs, some smaller ones. I'm not sure what these are. They all get collected and processed separately on their own to see if they contain anything. I don't even know what they are, but it'll be interesting to find out. These chips here, I don't know if they're IC chips or what they are, but same thing. Anything that I don't normally see, I will keep separate and process them in their own batch to see how good they are. Some of them might contain something good, or they might be rubbish, I don't know. So I've got to take all those off. They're pretty easy to just come off. Sometimes I get right underneath them with the small clippers, and then I cut that piece of aluminium that's still stuck on the board which comes out of the capacitor. Just depends on the mood I'm in, and you know, if I'm in a hurry or not. So if I go underneath it with the little cutters, then I get to keep that bit of aluminium. Might not seem like a huge deal when you're talking about one of these, but when you talk about thousands of them, and there's generally lots of them, then it makes all the difference in the world, because it's more weight at the end of the day when you sell them. I sell them to my scrapyard. I would like them to go as dirty aluminium, but he takes them and as a mixed metal, so it's probably only about 10 cents a kilo. But considering I used to throw them away, I think I'm better off getting something for them rather than throwing them in the bin. And the extra weight adds up when you've got a lot of them. But if I was to be that pedantic now, the video will end up going for 4 hours, and I don't want that. Neither do you guys, I'm sure. The problem I have when I'm making these types of videos is I don't feel right sitting quiet and just scrapping. I think for you guys that would be boring. So I find the need to talk, so you're not just sitting there watching someone in silence. But then I guess I run the risk of rambling on too much. And there's nothing worse than someone who doesn't know when to shut up. So please put in the comments if you think I talk too much. If you think a silent movie would be boring. I personally can't stand them. I don't like it when I go to watch someone's video and they can't be bothered talking, or you know, even if they can't speak English, there's AI now that is making that type of problem go away. I think, you know, silent movies went out in the 50s, and yeah, I don't know, I find myself doing for you guys what I would like to see. And I don't know if that covers a large percentage of my viewers or not. I tend to think I've got it all wrong, since I've only got 3,000 subscribers, and my competition has tens of thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So they're doing something that I'm not, clearly. I wish my channel was as big as my competition. I could really do with all the subscribers I can get. So if you guys would like to hit that subscribe button and notification bell, it just lets YouTube know that you like my content, especially if you comment and hit the like button. Things like that tells them that, you know, people are watching my stuff and they like it. It really does help my channel, and the best thing is it's free. And then it's not essential, but certainly appreciated, is my members. What I've started doing, as of the video that I posted last night, is from now on my videos will go to my members first for 2 or 3 days, and then be released to the general public. I think it's only fair. It only costs like $5 to become a member, less than the cost of a cup of coffee. And there's some people out there that think that I am entitled to a coffee. You know, they think that I'm helping them, and that I deserve a coffee, so they become members, and so appreciative. So I have to do something to show my gratitude. But don't be stressing, you don't have to become a member. I'm just happy with any subscribers I can get, but I am certainly grateful for the help that the members are giving me, because you don't make a lot on YouTube when you've only got 3,000 subscribers. eBay Refiner. People know who I'm talking about when I say eBay Refiner. He's on Easy Street. He's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And I would love to be at that stage. Firstly, I would have more money to do better videos for you guys. I'd probably be able to afford better quality filming gear. I'd be able to buy jewellery to process, and maybe get some really interesting e-waste stuff that would cost a fortune. I don't know where you really go to buy the stuff, but people are getting it. Then again, the people I'm doing the toll refining for now, they've got their stuff from auctions, and so far I've been processing stuff and getting next to no gold out of it, because it's most likely very new e-waste. And I can't imagine this would be very old, because the company that they got it from had been using it and just updated, because you got to stay ahead of the times. So they sold these off on auction. The older stuff is the much better stuff to get. What have we got here? Steel. Here in Australia, it's not worth selling steel, for those who ask. I know a lot of the videos in America, people are selling it. People go around and collecting it, but it's just not worth it here. It's only like 5 cents a ton or some silly thing, and I just don't even bother. When I see someone fill their truck full of steel and they go and get $10, I think, why did you bother? The things you miss out on along the way because you've got no room and you filled your van up full of steel, and you miss out on some really good items. I don't know, just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, each to their own. I don't know what these are, I have no clue. Never seen anything like it before. These are aluminium, but I do not know what's in there. No clue. Let's see if I can pry it off. Oh, that wasn't ideal. Sorry, now my hand's in the way. I'm trying to get this off. So there's a green fibre board in there, and there's this foam sticky, don't know what it is, obviously some sort of heat transfer paste or something, but it's annoying to say the least. Looks like being a pain in the bum to get off. I don't think it'll come off with a heat gun. And I was supposed to have gone in for neck surgery in May, I was on the waiting list for over a year, and I was told that the surgery would be within the year. And then closer to the time they said May is when you're going to have it. Well, May's been gone and I still haven't had it. So that's quite annoying. I want to go prospecting and it's pretty hard. Well, my next shot, I was looking forward to having the surgery. And I asked them to do my back, but they said we'll do the neck first. My back is the worst problem I got. Can't exactly walk around all day with a detector with a bad back. So, geez, this is annoying trying to get this off. Never seen anything like this before. It's like a rubber. Not too sure how well you can see because it's now night time. My head's casting a shadow over this board. I'm not happy with these things because apart from having all this rubbery, foamy stuff, it's all mixed in between all the chips that are on here and BGAs and MLCCs and whatever other these little flat things are. I've got no clue. See if I can put it closer for you to see. There's all kinds of things in there. They look like MLCTs, but there's a line of them along the bottom. I don't know what they are. So I'm not even going to bother trying to process these things. I'm just going to take them off and put them into my boards that I sell. There'll be a little weight in there for them. I've taken these off. I've gone around with them with a knife to cut the legs off. They're a Broadcom, whatever that is. And I think I said earlier that there was some Broadcom BGAs. These are ICs. I cut the legs off. So I've never done these. I'll do this separately. I'll do all the IC ones in one pile. I'll do the BGAs in another pile. So they've all been cut. I just turned the board over and wow, I haven't seen a board like this before. So apart from all these pins along the edge, there's loads and loads of MLCCs. They look like really good ones. And then further down, there's these things. I have no idea what they are. I tried to heat one up with my little gas torch thing here to take it off, and it sort of fell to pieces in about 3 bits. But then you get down here and there's a couple of bigger MLCCs, and then look at these ones. Huge big MLCCs. All the way along, and there's a IC chip here. It says, I'll spell it out to you, XILINX, Xilinx, and then Spartan, whatever that means. So I don't know if they're any good. Then there's a whole pile of tiny little ICs which I'm keeping, and I think these are ICs. They look like them, so I'll take those off. But even though I was saying that before, MLCCs are not my favourite thing to keep, certainly when they're this big I'll be taking all of these off. And I might as well, while I'm at it, keep this run all the way along here, take all those off. And then there's some in between each of these things here. So I'll pick up this board and take all those off for sure. And then there's some more pins down here. And there's gold on the board, so this board would go in AP later on. I have to depopulate everything off it. There's some more, they got silver in them. I was trying to think of the word earlier, and it did come to me, but now I've forgotten it again. Tantalum capacitors, yeah, so the black and yellow ones, these ones are black. So I'll take all the tantalum capacitors. Alright, so I'll pick at this board and get all this done before we go to the next one. Alright, next came off the rank, excuse me, is this long board, and I've already started taking out screws. I've disconnected these wires here. They join onto this one, which slots into slot there. See the gold fingers. There's also some on the end here. Sorry about the lighting. So I've got some tiny little screws to undo along the top, which will take this metal strip off. And I'll do this off camera. I've also taken out as many screws as I can find on this board, so it should lift out soon. But there's something down here. This is supposed to pivot somehow, and I can't work out how to get it to do it. This thing here moves. I don't know what that's for. It doesn't seem to do anything. I think it's just to pull it out of the tray where it was sitting. I'll have to investigate this. Anyway, so what we've got, 2 CPU slots. Sadly the CPUs are gone. I wouldn't mind guessing when they're that size, so there would have been purple CPUs. That would have been nice. What else we got? Some gold pins, nice gold corner BGA. I'll try and get the light on here. Sorry about the darkness. I'll get this torch working. Gold corner BGA, another one there, and some little ICs, some little BGAs. These strips here may or may not have much gold. Hard to tell in this light. And then there's those ones there. And there's a little board here which I can see has gold in those ones for sure. So I'll pull all these apart, get the steel away, and show you what I've got. Okay, so what I'm left with after doing that board is some of these nice little boards here. I don't want to have too much glare on the screen. See if you can see these. Got some nice gold fingers across the end, and gold fingers I can see inside that plug. There's that one there. Another one here, nice gold fingers, double-sided gold pins in there. Sorry if this is really bright, I don't know how this is coming over. This is a trial. I've got this nice board here with some fingers on it, double-sided. Some pins in there, some nice gold pins there, and there's also more fingers on the end. The last bit is just flashing. See if you can see that. The last bit, the little bit on the end there is flashing, but there's gold fingers on this one. And the usual pins and IC chips and so on. Got a nice copper aluminium heatsink here. These plugs here, they look like giant SATA plugs. I opened them up, and each one of them has gold fingers. Don't know how well it's coming up. See if I can dull this down a bit. Okay. So gold fingers on the end, double-sided. Same with that one. Same with that one. And got a little board here with some pins in there, nice gold pins in there. And then this little board here, it'll have some gold pins under this, and there's some nice fingers there, another bit of flashing on the end. So that's that. And this board here got some nice fingers in there, pins I mean. Gold corner BGA, another gold corner BGA. Lots of little ICs and some BGAs, and the slots for the CPU, they'll have gold pins in there. Some of these slots here don't look very good. I can't see any gold on those. They are looking pretty crappy. There's no gold on them that I can see. If there is, it'd be right on the tips. These ones do. These two here. But no surprise, they're slot cards where this goes in. And on the back, a couple more little BGAs, and that's about it. So I'll heat this up with a heat gun to depopulate this board. And all this will drop off. And to the next one. Next is this monstrosity. It's been in my way every time I've tried to move. I'll be looking forward to get this out of my way. It's got plugs in here. See if you can see. like a back pane board or something in here with plugs in it, but I've got to get to those first. I don't know how to do that. And if I turn it over, I'll put this here for a second so you can see. Try and turn this thing over. It's heavy as. On top here, I've already undone these two screws, and these two, I'm guessing I'm going to have to do those, but I thought that these two centre parts would pull out, and it doesn't seem to. So I'll have to investigate what's going on there. I've got a screw there that needs to come out. I'll do these two here, another screw here, some other ones here for this plug. But why this isn't coming apart, I have no clue. Anyway, Ben will probably be able to tell you straight away, but I've not done these before, so I'm going to have to look at it off camera and try and get into it. And when I do, I'll show you what's in there. Okay, finally got that apart. Now I've got these pins on here. They look like they're nice gold coating. Excuse me. Nice gold coating all along here. This was the back pane board that was inside. Nice pins in there. So we're looking forward to doing those. Then I've got two drawers that slid out, the two middle ones. So there's MLCCs, aluminium capacitors, tiny ICs, another IC, BGA, probably be a BGA under this heatsink here. It might even be a gold corner, I doubt it though. And pins along the back, same with that, exactly the same. And then on either side of that was these two power supplies. You can see some nice pins there. See if I can get this to stand up. Stay. Okay, so I've got nice gold pins in there. And then inside, being a power supply, there's going to be the usual transformers and coil windings of copper and so on. Everybody knows what a power supply looks like, I'm sure. Alright, so on to the next one. Alright, so next on the list we've got one of the shelves that came out of that device. So we've got two nice big CPU slots, gold corner BGA, standard BGA. What have we got in here? Some pins there, heatsink, probably have a BGA underneath it. And put that aside. Some nice pins in there. This cover just came off it, so that'll be interesting. And I've got to take this off. I'll take the board out. I've already undone the pins, screws and stuff, but it's still in there somehow. I don't know how to get all this off, so I'll investigate. I'll get the boards out and see what we got. Okay, so what I got out of that one, I've still got a little board here which I haven't worked out how that's stuck on yet, and a little one on this end. I think it's just got pins on the back. I have to break them off. I dismantled that, and I got some cast aluminium, which of course I just dropped on the floor. And this little board, not really anything special. Small BGA, small ICs, some pins, and I got quite a few heat sinks off the board. The two mediocre ones, and then some of the smallest little heat sinks I've ever seen. Like, what's the point in that? Anyway, that's all extruded. And so there's some gold pins in here. Usually I don't get gold out of these, it's just the tiniest little tip. but these are obviously better quality. Some of these do, some of these don't. There's a little pin socket on the end here. Some nice pins just in here and here. Another little heatsink there I missed. Look how tiny it is. Gold corner BGA. And on the back, just some small IC chips. I don't think these are tantalum capacitors because I can't see the writing. Usually the writing stands out, but they could be. I'll have a look. And the other drawer that came out is exactly the same, so there's no point in showing it twice. I'll knock the other one over and then we'll go on to the next item. Next up is this device, and I'm sorry if I don't know the names of these things. I'm not very computer literate. I know how to destroy them, but I don't know how to fix them or what they do. But it's a Cisco. It says here Cisco. And up here it mentions fiber optic lasers. Class 1 laser product. Fiber optic lasers, when they are installed, comply with blah blah blah. I'm guessing this was made in America or somewhere that has the same sort of date format, because in Australia we do day, then month, then year. This is, what I can understand, 2014, the first month on the 15th. So 2014, it's 11 years old. So it's it might be alright, it might have some good stuff in there. It's not really vintage, but at least it's not current. So I don't know how to open this, just have to work it with me, see how we do this. I've undone all the screws, and I think it comes loose at the back. I've tried prying this side off with a screwdriver. There we go. Persuasion tool works every time. That's just steel. Rubbish. I know in America you guys sell a lot of steel. In Australia not so much. It's not worth it. What is it? $10 a ton or some stupid thing? 1 cent a kilo? So what do we got here? Some nice BGAs, and I can't quite read them. Are they broad? Those other ones? The other one said Broadcom or whatever it was. And I don't know what's in this board here. There should be hopefully a gold corner BGA with a bit of luck under that, or this one. These are looking promising, these BGAs. Let's have a look and see what's under this heatsink. No, that BGA is no good. When you see the ones that have got the glass die on top, they're no good. You can't do anything with them, there's no gold. Sorry, I didn't realise you couldn't see. I hope you could see what I was doing before. In case you couldn't, there's the one that's no good. You've got the glass die on top. And absolutely useless. Throw them in the rubbish. There's no gold inside them at all. There's a gold corner BGA. And we've got some more BGAs. We've got some decent size IC chips. It's not too bad of a board. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but it's not the worst either. So there's the power supply. That's got all the transformers and heat sinks and so on in there. So that's pretty pointless for gold recovery. There are some little transistors and so on in there, but not much. I don't know how to get this out. I have to investigate. I'm probably got to get these bolts out, and I'll do it off camera because I've got no clue what I'm doing, and I'll show you when I've got it out. I got the board out of the box, and along the back of these pins there's two other boards. I broke one off to show you. This one's the same. It's got nice IC chips, or what I think is IC chips, all along there. So we're getting those off. Some nice gold pins here. I think it's another IC chip, and then some more here. There's a few little BGAs around the place. Like I said, there's ones here that are good. I can't read upside down, and I haven't been able to get it in a position to see if it's a Broadcom or not. And of course, all these pins, nice gold pins in there. On the back, there's not much. There's some gold teeth here, gold fingers, and some pins in there. A few nice big chunky MLCCs on here. The back's full of them. And then lots of small ones as well. But not what I would say is a really good board. I certainly wouldn't have bought it. I wouldn't pay for things like this. It's going to be a lot on there before I buy it. Unless, you know, you paid like $1 a kilo or something. But anyway, we'll get these off with the heat gun, so that'll go in my depopulation tub, and then when I'm finished, I'll depopulate everything. Put all the ICs in one bucket and the BGAs in another, and see what we get. And then these pins can all be done last. They take a while. So, see what's next. So I'm trying to find different things to scrap because a lot of it's the same thing. I've already done about 7 boards all the same. Like that one, I've already done about 7 of these, so I'll put that aside. There's other things here, like this little board here and so on. So this one here, it's a Cisco system. Not sure if you can see that, it just says right there Cisco system, and it's a Catalyst 60 series, whatever that means. So we'll have a look inside. I've done the screws as usual. What do we got? Oh, this is kind of like the other board I did. So it's got a fan, a small power board, and gold corner BGA, and quite a couple of good ICs, 3 good ICs, plus the little ones as well. And some more good ICs under there, 3 of them. Heatsink there with probably a gold corner BGA underneath. We'll have a look. For the way I've been going, it's all been those stupid, useless ones. So I'm going to get my hips up. Yep, gold corner BGA, nice. And then there's a small gold corner BGA there. Tantalum capacitors, a few of those. Gold border oscillators, I like those. So it's not a bad board for a small board. It's got a lot of good stuff on it. So we'll get this thing out. Don't know what these are supposed to do. No idea. There you can see under here. Some nice ICs there. So I'll get the board out and we'll have a good look at it. Okay, now that I've got the board out, we can have a better look at it. So it's got some poor excuse for gold fingers. I don't think they're even gold. I'll put them in the bucket in case. They look like they might be. There's nothing else on the back apart from 2 chunky MLCCs and 2 more just there. On the front we've got some of the small ICs, some MLCCs, quite a few MLCCs, they're chunky ones. More little ICs, lots of little ICs here, bigger ones here, here, if these are ICs. Usually with the boxes that come behind pins are just full of copper, so I'm going to have to look into that and see. Gold corner BGA. These transistors with the grey stripe on them, they've got gold inside them as well. I'm keeping those. And these here are more likely the ones that are going to have copper in them because they're a square box. They look different to an IC. These look like ICs. Another gold corner BGA, another one here, another IC, tantalum capacitors. These little green boxes, I'm not sure what is in them. I've never seen these before. They might have silver or they might be just copper windings. Going by the little solder on each side, I'd say it's just a copper winding. Usually is when it's like that. So all in all, it's not a bad board. Got some good pins in there. Some more down here. So that's quite good. I'd like a few more of these. Alright, so I'll take all the MLCCs off now. Easier than when I depopulate it later. And then I'll see what's next on the list. Okay, next is this little board. Not sure what this will come out of, but would have gone into something. Now, I don't know if you can tell in the light, there's a little pin here, 4 pins. Now they look like they're either brass or gold. Try and get in a better light if I can. Not sure if you can see those. I can't tell if they're brass or gold. And I can't get them out because they come through the back of the board. I've already taken out 2 screws here, but now I've got these ones here to go. And then I'm guessing that the metal will come away. And it's got nuts on the other side of it here. So I'll get the board out and we'll have a better look at it. So I got the metal off, and looking at the back of those pins, and I'm not sure how well you can see this, there's a little white plastic pin inside the what I thought was brass or gold, and you pull the plastic part out. I've already done it to the other 3, and then once you pull it out, the brass drops through. See, there's the little pin, and then the brass or gold or whatever it is here. So I really don't know if that's brass or gold plated. It looks like brass because it's like tarnished. I'll try and get the 3 of them in my hand in a better light. Can you see that? So I'll say they're brass. They're going to go in my brass bucket. Now what have we got? So there's nothing on the back, just some tiny little MLCCs. Lots of pins on the front here, and they're only gold tipped right on the very tips of them. The whole pin isn't, it's just the very, very tips. So they're not all that special. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 good sized gold band oscillators. We've got tons of little tiny IC chips, heaps of them. And then we've got 1, 2 good sized ones, 2 BGAs there, and these 2 BGAs are rubbish, they're no good. And a little fuse here with gold caps on the end. Sometimes you see those and they're silver. This one seems to have the gold ones on, which is good. So it's quite a lot of little IC chips to take off. There's a tantalum capacitor, a couple of black ones as well. Alright, so I'll get to taking these off. I like to take these little ones off now before I depopulate with the heat gun, because otherwise these little ICs end up in the box of crumbs and it's too hard to find them. This way I can just grab them and put them in a container. Nice and easy. So I'll do all this now off camera and we'll see what's next. Alright, so taking the metal off. In my experience, anytime you have a board that's got these USB type plugs, the row of what looks like ICs behind it is not ICs, they're normally copper. I broke one off to show you. There's just little copper windings inside. So they're not ICs. Anything you see behind these, it's always, in my opinion, always been these little copper windings. So they're useless to me. Now, underneath this heat sink, there's lots of little ICs. I don't know what these things are here. And there's a transistor here. A little bit of gold on the board. Not too bad for a tiny little board. So they'll be the same on this one. Same thing. And I guess that they wind off since they've got sides on them. So now what we have also, this board here looks pretty boring on this side, but on this side there's ICs all the way along. I know the light's not very good, but there's ICs all the way along. See if we turn the board around this way, probably better. Don't know if you can see that any better or not. And there's ICs underneath each of these heat sinks, so that's good. Hopefully they're more of those Broadcom ones. I really want to see what's in them. And we've got little ICs all over the place. We've got a BGA there, more ICs here. This a fuse which has got silver in it, gold pins in here, fuse there with gold cap on it. And on the back, got a row of nice chunky MLCCs. There's little LEDs, which I think may have gold in them. And then these resistors, they have silver in them. And there's more MLCCs along here. Another couple of big chunky ones. Some more there. Some tantalum capacitors. Another one there. Some little ICs, some more little tantalum capacitors, MLCCs. I'm not sure what these are. I don't know if there's anything inside those. I might keep them and just try out one day. Experiment. Okay, so I'll get depopulating this. When I say depopulating, I mean just taking off the main things, and then all the smaller stuff comes off with a heat gun. Like I'll get all these off with a heat gun. Same with these. I might take these off now, these MLCCs, because they're chunkier ones. And all this stuff here. There's another row of I just said what they were a minute ago, I forgot now. Resistors, another row of green resistors along here. And these boards will come off with a heat gun, I suppose. I could probably bend them off. Alright, so I've got to work out how to pull these fans out. And the very centre part is electric motor. So I break all the fins off and these go in electric motors. There is a little board in here along there, so I've got to get this out, work out how to do that. I'll do that off camera and then I'll show you what I got, and we're nearly finished. I need 2 more boards to do. Alright, so the board isn't all that special. It's got 2 little IC chips on the back and a resistor for silver. A couple more little tiny IC chips there. Some little tiny MLCCs and a couple more little ICs. 1 BGA, that's it. And it's got a glass fuse which will have silver in it. A little bit of timing gold flashing on there. But the flashing is not very good. But it looks impressive, but it's usually not. So when you see gold flashing on boards, don't get too excited. Unless you got a lot of it. Now, this is the fan once the blades have been taken off. And I've pulled the pin out the back so it comes apart to show you. Now these have always, well not always, 90% of the time got nice bright wire inside. Sometimes you get coloured wire, but for the most part they're usually nice and bright. If you can be bothered pulling these apart, obviously you get some good copper out of it. They're normally a lot smaller than this. I've never seen fans this big. There's some brass in there if you can bust that out, and same inside here, brass, as well as some little bearings that maybe come in handy if you're a hobbyist. There is a small board at the back as you can see, but there's not usually much on there either. Maybe some of those tiny little MLCCs. I will be getting this off for the bright wire. Let's see how easy it is to come off. Sometimes they're pretty easy, sometimes not. So it should hopefully pry off. Plastic off. You don't have to get all this plastic off, but I choose to. Otherwise it could stab you in the hand, these little sharp parts. For the sake of the video, just trying to clean it up a bit. Not about as good as it can get. I guess you could knock the bearings out, and then you have a nice copper brass sleeve inside there. Let's see if I can lever it off. You see where the copper wire joins the board. Snip these wires gently now so that it's easy to start peeling the copper wire off. Another one here. I would imagine that this would lever off. There's not really much on the board, as you can see. Little tiny transistors. That's it. 1 aluminium capacitor. And now I've got this. Easier to unravel than having the board on there. And I guess to get the brass sleeve out, you could hammer it or break it up. I'm not really going to be bothered with that, but I will get the bright wire off it, and it should just coil out. You just got to find where it starts, like this. Once you get it started, it just unravels. Nice bright copper wire. So that's that one. I will pull the other 3 apart off camera and get the wire out of them. And I'll chop this fuse off. I'll heat this up, get the BGA off, and cut those little IC chips off. Like so. and move on to the next board. It takes a lot of these little IC chips to be worth it. It's not even worth, the ones that I've been getting so far, they're not even worth putting in this video when it comes to recovering the gold, I mean, because I've been saving these little IC chips for a long time, and that's all I've got so far, and that's about 2 or 3 years worth. So the small handful that I've gotten so far from this video is not even worth trying to process. So I'll depopulate this board later with my heat gun so that I can strip the board clean and just have the flashing, and they'll go in my AP bucket with all the rest of my boards. Okay, so the next board we got going is this one. So nice heat sink, probably be a gold corner BGA underneath it. 9 times out of 10 they are, and it'd be good if there is, because there's some other ones there. I'll see if I can get this off quickly. No, need a different screwdriver for that one. So I'm just dropping some screws in the bucket. I'm going to have to work this off camera, see how to get this off. I'll come back and show you the board. Alright, so that piece there was the same as all those other stupid things I had. I'll just pick out the chunky MLCCs and put that in my box of boards. Nice little copper coil here. Bright wire. This one's dirty wire, goes with dirty copper. Some little IC chips along here. Gold pins in here. Gold flashing on the board, as you can see. Some little fuses. These ones look like they might have silver on the ends. Or is it gold? I can't see in this light. No, they're gold. But I don't know how much gold's on them. I think it's only very, very light coating or flashing. I don't know. Never actually processed them. It's taken me about 4 years to get the tiniest little collection together because they're so small. So all these little IC chips, I'll bust those off. A few more here, and on the back, turn some capacitor, another fuse there, IC, some nice chunky MLCCs, ICs, more bigger MLCCs, some more along there as well. Not much, not a very good board. Some people would think this is really good because of the gold flashing, but trust me, it's not. These little things here, I don't know what they are. They've got gold on them. I started collecting these about 6 months ago, and I think I got about 10. I don't really see too many of them. So I'll take those off as well. And that's it for that board. I'll just take all the stuff off camera. And we're back for the last board. Okay, so I'm back to the last board, and it turns out that it's exactly the same as one of the first boards that I did. It's got all the pins along the front, and then it's got these 2 heat sinks with those stupid boards underneath them, and all the little heat sinks along here. It's exactly the same, and even very similar to the last board I did. So not really much to show you. Again, it's got the flashing on the side. That's not really important because that's not really good. A fuse there. Just the usual stuff. There's a nice BGA, and then there's lots of little IC chips. So that's pretty much it, guys. I don't normally do scrapping videos. I do occasionally. If you want to see more, please let me know. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. I don't know if you liked the way I did it, where I just showed you the board, then cut back once I'd taken all the metal and everything off, or do you prefer to watch it being done? I need your feedback so I know what to give you guys, what sort of videos you like. Anyway, so I would normally include the depopulating with the heat gun, but the last time I tried doing a video like that, it was so noisy that you couldn't hear me anyway. So there's not really any point in doing that. Once I've depopulated and sorted everything out into piles like BGAs and IC chips and so on, I'm gonna, for the first time, process them all together. BGAs, IC chips, a few little different steps to start with to get them going, but once they all get burnt and crushed and everything all the same, treat them all together, because that's all. This goes to this one person, and this is the last of the refine for her. So any of the gold that comes from any of the chips on these boards goes to her, and I get a cut, of course. So I'm gonna put all the chips together, process them all, and then add the gold from that to the little bit of gold that I've already got for her, so I can pay her, and that's job done. Okay, so the next thing you guys are going to see is me with a pile of chips that I'm going to process in another video. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, comment, all that type of thing. If you know anybody that would like to see these types of videos, see if you can get them to subscribe, because I've only got 3,000 subscribers. That's nothing compared to my oppositions that have tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands. And yeah, alright, I'll leave you to it. Thanks, you guys. See ya.